Where are we playing? Jesus, that scares me. I adjusted things so now you can see more of the room while I'm in this scene. But honestly, I don't think you can really see too much more. It's kind of interesting. Kind of neat. I like it. I'm gonna be adjusting things slowly as I figure out where I want what, and what all is going to be where. Yes, it was a redundant statement. Who cares? But then I'll be able to make more use of like storage space and stuff like that. So anyway, we're gonna be playing some PowerWash Simulator tonight. Um, I was gonna be playing some Kingdom Hearts. I did say I was gonna play Kingdom Hearts last night. I'm sorry. I'm in a mood where I just need some I need some comfort food right now. Um, I just finished I just finished my therapy session and it was productive. Which is to say I am all kinds of a wreck right now. All right. Anyway. Uh Power Wash Simulator. Here we go. Um I am in the there you are. Hello, Bar.
Hello.
Hello, hello. I would ask if you want to play, but I know the game got to be a little bit of a chore the last time we went through it.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel like repeating any levels.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing about the co-op is it's actually quite literally drop in, drop out, except for the fact that you have to rebuild the dirt for the new players joining in. So, uh, but I have thought about maybe at some point, um, doing like um, a free play lobby so that like 5 other people can join in and just like kind of podcasting it up while we spray water at dirty things.
Mm.
And people can literally just like stop working on it if they don't want to, and like, or even just drop out of the game, keep a chat lobby going. I think that would be fun. Uh-huh. And I buy attach.
Might need to change your scene.
I might need to change my scene.
As adorable as that picture of Zag face down in his bed is, though.
I love that one. I've been thinking about making a Zag calendar, and I think that has to be one of the ones that goes in there.
My sister does that every year with her dogs.
Oh, there you go. But I'm also thinking about just like making it merchandise that people are able to buy. Hello, Bumrush. How are you doing?
The Obi-Wans are spreading.
The Obi-Wans are spreading. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. I love it.
Hello there.
Hello there. General Kenobi.
Or if Grievous happens to be hungry that day, General Cannoli.
Now I want cannoli. Thanks, Mara.
You're welcome. I help.
I'm Bar. I'm helping.
I've made Oreo calendars.
You've made Oreo calendar. I need Oreo calendars in my life now.
I'm half tempted to go order just a calendar of Oreo cookies and just send that to you.
I would also accept this. I love this temple in Power Wash. The one that's kind of like Norse feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oreo
love
Advent
them. It's just
calendar. Different flavor each day.
yes, there you go. to sell that idea to what company is it? Is it Nabisco for Oreos? I don't remember. Window clean when I'm washing my
Job's
chest.
done.
Job done. More what? Yes, my lord. We at least while I was when I was helping with builds for the haunted house, uh that was constant different the like line we would drop. We'd finish like putting a wall up and we'd just go, job done.
As you should.
Yeah. Really the only thing to say, honestly. Problem is, people at work, my current job, I don't think we get the reference.
You never know until you try.
I'll have to at some point. No, there is one who would, but we never worked together.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. That said, I usually end up working with people who are closer in my age range, so there's a lot of other stuff that they understand.
Hmm.
So, you know, I'll take it.
Excellent.
Like my carpool buddy. Uh, he's like 3 years older than me, something like that.
Hmm.
And I'll crack references that I'm like, no one's gonna get this because I'm used to working with all the kids at my pool job,
Yeah.
and none of them would ever understand my like pop culture references because they were all like before their time.
Before they were born.
Yeah, they weren't even a twinkle
Before
in
the
their
dark
father's
times.
eye.
Before the Empire.
Before COVID. COVID really is one of those like weirdly enough like world defining events.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those big moments in
Global
time where people
history.
are like, it's gonna be remembered.
Fondly, not so much.
I don't know, people who don't like being around people might remember it fondly.
That was actually a benefit. Got an excuse to just not be out in public. Was difficult on the relationship, though. Will not lie.
It was difficult on everyone.
Yeah.
There were times I was like, man, I wish I could get paid to stay at home.
Yeah. Especially the career that you're in. Like, I will tell you that I was losing my mind. Um, even though I was making more money off unemployment than I was uh, on just regular pay because of the policies that got passed to help people out.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. But I was losing my mind because everyone else in our circle either was able to work remote or had an essential job. So I was sitting there alone for hours, just like, what the hell do I do? Uh, Played a lot of Minecraft with like 2 people. That's what I did. Got all that.
Dam must grow.
Was that?
I'm building a giant reservoir in Timberborn.
I. Oh yeah, they added more of like an end game state to that now, right?
I mean, they added a thing that when you build, you're considered to have completed the level.
Yeah.
I've never tried playing Timberborn on the harder settings, but I imagine if, as long as you're cautious and take things slow and are smart about how you do stuff, the game is not that hard.
Yeah.
You're literally, the only thing you have to worry about is overrunning your food and water production.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because those are your only threats are just running out of food, running out of water, and then everyone dying.
Everybody's dead day. Anyway, Bumrush, if you're hanging around and you want to be in voice chat, let us know. We can drag you up. We're happy to have you around. Oh. You know what I just remembered that I'm really happy about?
What?
I finished Command and Conquer,
Yes.
which means I get to move on to Red Alert, which was, of the two, my personal favorite. Uh,
Red alert! All hands to battle stations.
yeah.
/show/.
Red Alert was the first of the Command and Conquers I ever played.
Yeah, I played both around the same time.
I might join. I heard my voice recently and I was like you woo.
You heard your voice recently, you were like, you?
A lot of people do that when they hear their own voice.
Yeah, the only
Because
reason
how we hear our voice is different than how everyone else hears it.
Yeah. The only reason I don't do that anymore is because I've been streaming for 3.5 years now.
You got
And
used to it.
2 years of that, no, like 3 years of that, I was going back and rewatching my VODs to like scrub for clips. So, you know, there was that. And granted, it would be a little pitch shifted because I would set it to 2 times playback speed. But, like, then I'd still have to edit it and hear my own voice and like make sure everything was good.
You know the lollipop kid, the
Yeah.
lollipop kid.
The lollipop kill. Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
The one who lives on Drury Lane?
Well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man? You're not gonna do the scream?
No. Muffin Man! She's
The
married
Muffin
to
Man.
the Muffin Man. I love how that scene was actually like the lyrics of the song, just spoken
As
out
yeah, it's just kind of
as
as an
dialogue.
interrogation.
Yeah. They knew what they were doing when they made Shrek. They really did.
Yeah, the first one is definitely by far the best.
Yeah. I feel like I remembered liking Shrek 2, even if it wasn't necessarily as spectacular.
I'm not saying some of the sequels have been. I'm
Bad.
not saying all the sequels have been bad. Some of them have
Shrek
definitely
2
been better
was
than
good.
others. But the first one, I think, is definitely the best.
Yeah. Shrek 2 was the one with the fairy godmother, right?
I
To go
think so.
to go visit her
Charming.
parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she takes Shrek to go visit her parents. I don't remember why. Prince Charming shows up at the tower to save Fiona, and oh, she's not
Okay,
there.
I'll
There's just a
hang out
dragon.
for a bit. Icon has permissions.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy to adjust. You are online as far as I know. There you are. Oh. There you go. You can jump yourself in. We can also drag you in. There you are.
Yay, my bad tide redirection ducts are working just fine.
Excellent. Bad tide.
Yeah, I stuttered a bit there.
Okay. I don't usually hear you stutter, actually.
It occasionally happens.
I mean, we all know I have speech issues. Especially when I'm trying to read things on stream.
Mm.
How you doing, Bummer? Are you muted?
Am I muted?
I think you might have been.
Oh, okay. There's a mute thing like on my headset, so that might have been
Yeah,
toggled.
that happens.
I was
That's okay.
saying I have the unfortunate problem of if I don't pre-plan out my conversations, I will literally sit there and like just garble words.
Oh.
That happens sometimes. Just the mouth goes faster than the brain.
Yeah, well, what I found recently is if I'm saying the same thing 100 times in a work shift, which I am, my brain just starts flipping it around for fun after about 50.
Brain's like, I'm bored now. We're doing something else.
Yeah. Bored
Okay,
now, reading your mind.
Turn your head this way. Goes to head your turn this way. I mean,
Yeah, actually, very much so. Like so we're doing school portraits. Yearbook photos and school IDs are the basic function of the photos. And so we have the little posing stool that we sit them on. I'll tell them already, have a seat, and that never gets messed up. And
Seat
then
to
I'll
have.
have to move on to like put your feet on the blue tape because we mark out with like just blue painter's tape. Where
Tape on the blue feet.
Yeah, I'll be like blue tape.
tape, blue, feet, now.
Yeah, so I'll just be like, blue tape is where your feet are gonna go. Which is reminiscent of a delivery line that a friend of mine would give
outside, many side.
He originally built the line being like a preacher in the like damned church kind of thing when I first worked with him. And his opening line would be damnation and hellfire, brimstone and wormwood. And he adapted that line for a bar. And he would yell at people as they're coming into the bar scene of damnation and hellfire is what we have on tap. Which I adored because literally the only people who would know that were the people who had been to that show like 6 years prior, or other people who had worked with him when he was doing that scene. And I got a front row seat to it. It was fantastic. That man can act. I come from the end. I come from the land of the ice and snow.
I thought you were about to go. You come from a land down under.
Yeah, man, I come from the land down under.
You go from Led Zeppelin to Men with Hats or Men Without
Yes.
Hats.
Yes.
Then we just go do a safety dance afterwards.
We can dance.
You
We can dance.
You can dance. Everybody, look at your pants. Wait,
then
that's
we
The
go.
Simpsons.
Then once we got our safety hats in place, we could go bless the rains down in Africa.
I bless the rains down in Africa.
I always think it's funny because anytime anybody mentions Toto, that's what most people go to, but I go like a decade earlier.
Oh.
I think it's the only song by them I know.
Hold the Line, Love Isn't Always on Time.
Okay, that Love Isn't Always the Time sounds familiar. Probably been a while since I've heard that song, so I can't remember the song specifically, but the name, I recognize the name.
Yeah.
You also made me think of actually what I'm referencing whenever we're playing Abiotic Factor with my title.
What is that?
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
Robert Palmer, one hit wonder.
Yeah. I always wonder about those one-hit wonders. Were they at least able to live comfortably?
There's a guy who makes a YouTube channel just talking entirely about One Hit Wonder. He does other stuff other than that, but
Yeah.
those are the videos I like. Todd in the Shadows.
I remember Todd in the Shadows.
He's got a whole playlist of stuff where he talks about one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
And one segment he usually has is towards the end is like, how were they doing, or did they deserve better, or did they deserve more?
Yeah. He's one of the people on that guy with the glasses, right?
I don't know if he was or not.
I've done that before where I'll like go through my music and I'll hear like a one hit wonder come on and I'm like, I wonder if they have any other good songs if they just never got like publicized and stuff. And then I'd go in and I'm like 90% of the time I'm like, nah, they only really had that good one.
Sometimes they only had one good song in the United States, and they may have been popular in Europe for many years.
I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die.
Their whole album is good.
Yeah, you've
I mean,
played
that's
some
the
of
one
their
song
stuff
they're
when we're hanging out, and I love it.
I have two of their albums, which I think is all they did. They might have had a third one.
Yeah.
But they didn't last as a band very long before their lead singer went off and was like, I'm doing my own thing now.
Washing windows again. Neat.
You say neat or knee?
Neat.
Nee.
Are you the knights who say knee? Do you need a shrubbery?
We are the knights who say neat. I wish I remembered what they stopped or what they started saying instead of knee, but I can never remember it clearly.
It was much longer and more
It
convoluted.
was icky icky. Like that.
Don't look at me. I've never seen the movie.
There are some who call me Tim.
Apparently that was like ad lib right there because I think he forgot his line.
And they were running out of film, I think.
That happens
What?
a lot.
That's why they ended the movie the way they did. Is they had like
Yeah.
just enough to get everyone lined up there, and then they're like, "Shit, we're out of money. How do we end this?" So they had the cops come in and arrest the cast.
Which is actually a very common Monty Python cop-out. So it was on brand.
They go to become the knights who say "Eki eki eki patang zum boing."
Boing. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, knights who until recently said knee.
I finally got around to watching Deadpool and Wolverine.
Is he good?
I'm not a big fan of Deadpool to begin with, but as a kind of just, I liked it about as much as I liked the other two Deadpool movies, which is to say they're acceptable. I don't like Deadpool, so they're not my jam.
I mean, if you're willing to give him an acceptable and you don't like Deadpool, that means probably my book.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad movie. I just don't like Deadpool.
Yeah. Well, so the
That's fair.
interesting thing is you're not exactly supposed to like Deadpool. He's actually supposed to be a guy that you don't want to like. So,
Well,
you know.
they've done it in a good way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, like I don't, like I said, I don't think the movies are bad. Every time I see Ryan Reynolds, I just want to punch him in the face.
His handsome
Zeg!
face. Zeg, where's Zeg?
Zeg!
There's Zeg. Hey, Zeg. Hi.
Squeak!
Yeah. You can hear him? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't have the stuff filtered in Discord, that's why. I'm giving you the raw microphone.
Oh.
This microphone is raw.
It's rotten! I'm rating that!
Actually, I was really happy because Oreo seems to be getting his appetite back. So, like, he's actually
Yay.
eating all his food. He's been going to the
Yay.
bathroom. He's been
Yay.
actually, like, coming up and sleeping with me, which is great. So,
This is good.
yes.
Yay,
These
kitty,
are all
feel
things
better.
I wanted to hear.
Yes. He still has to have the cone on, unfortunately. because
Adorable.
The cone of shame.
He gets free time as often as I can give it to him, but it's very highly supervised because yeah, the second I take it off and he's unsupervised, he immediately goes for the tail.
Yeah, of course it does.
But I think it's healing because he started to, excuse me, he's been like, you can see he's trying to like groom his tail and he's just like licking the cone, so obviously it's like itchy or something, so it's a good sign.
Yeah.
Something happened to his tail.
Hi Necro, hi friend.
He
Yeah,
had a
there-
growth
Gameplay
on
song
it.
pal, ya, hope
Yeah,
everyone's
it
having
was
a great
like
night.
a little bump at first, and I just kind of was like, oh, maybe it was like whatever. And then I noticed that it was like a huge abscess or something. And I was like, oh, that's not good.
No, it is not.
And and then test after
Hey,
test after test after
niece. Hope you're
test,
doing
and
well
just
yourself. I'm doing well. Just
it's
relaxing,
been a
talking with
stressful
friends.
couple weeks.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah. On the
Eh,
flip side, that GoFundMe. Holy shit.
yeah, 4 days.
I mean, you ask people to help out pets. People are usually willing to help out pets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Zag kind of proved that for me
I
when we
it
were having
was
his stomach issues.
it was a pride thing. I had to swallow my pride and be like, it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
had some long conversations about that.
that can be hard to do sometimes. Is to realize that I need help with this. I can't do this on my own.
I could have. It would have been very unpleasant. But this just made like everybody's life easier. It made my life easier because I wasn't stressing as much, and therefore it made Oreo's life a little easier because I wasn't stressing, he wasn't stressing, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And then your friends aren't having to stress because your life is suddenly less problematic for you.
Yeah. Yeah, people really stepped up and were like, "Let me help you." And I am honestly blown away by the amount of support that I got. I was just like,
Yeah. Shit, I was ready
I
to eat most of that cost on my own if I had to. But I was like, I'll let it ride and see if I need to.
I was expecting maybe a quarter of that.
Yeah. No. You. I'm
Because
glad it worked
like
out. Like
I've
that.
had people be like, "Oh, it's not much," and then they drop like $50. I'm like,
Excuse me.
"Oh,
Yeah.
it's not much." Like I had one of my friends. He's like, "Oh yeah, I made good tips last night in delivering. So I here you go. Here's all of them." But I'm just like,
I mean, that's the fun thing about having friends who are in like service jobs is their tips literally are just like they're spending money to them because they know or they're budgeting based off of their earnings rather than their tips.
yeah.
So if they're like, yeah, tips were good today, they'll just be like, here, have something fun. But why?
Uh,
Because I made good money yesterday. Shouldn't you save it? Nah, I already budgeted based off of everything else.
Ugh, this hand is going to be the death of me. Who decided that hands were going to be so hard to draw?
Uh, yeah, sorry. I guess I owe artists everywhere an apology.
It was you.
Yes.
Darn you, Necro.
Stupid, sexy Flanders.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at
Nothing at
all.
all.
Nothing at all.
I did
Hey,
so
at least you're
much
not the
of this
person in
fun.
charge of designing the fjords of Norway.
What? What about Fjords of Norway?
Yeah, there was a. If you ever read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, there was a guy whose job was to design the fjords of Norway,
Oh, okay.
and he won an award for doing such a good job. His name was Slarty Bart Fast.
I forgot about that.
Sorry, you said Fjords of Norway, and my mind went to Frozen, so.
They are frozen a lot of the time of the year.
Yes, yes, they are. I wonder if I can afford to make a joke right about now.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm leaving now.
Bumrush is forcefully ejected from the call.
Yeah, yeet. uh, I will say it has been a trip working with people who are also photographers
How
because
so?
all of us geek out about the same stuff. So, I sent you pictures of our road trip up to our most recent shoot.
Bang.
No.
I need to post them in my Discord, honestly. Yeah, let me I'll do it on my next BRB. But we had to go from South Bay to North Bay, so we just went through San Francisco. And we crossed the Golden Gate at sunrise.
Ooh.
It was fun. We were all geeking out about it. It's because it was just like the
That's too bad
lines,
you
the
couldn't have been.
lighting, the colors, everything was beautiful.
That's too bad you couldn't have been west of it to look back east and get a shot.
We did get some looking over the bay and seeing the skyline with the sunrise behind it. I didn't get shots of that because motion sickness, and I was trying to be cautious about that. But one of the people who was on the crew that day brought a DSLR, so we have digital copies of it.
I always like pictures of things being silhouetted by either a sunset or a sunrise.
Yeah.
I
Colors on
have
that are fantastic.
many of those.
Yes, yes you do.
You know why seagulls are called seagulls, right?
They live on this.
Yes, because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels.
Why? Why?
Mine,
No,
mine, mine,
Mine.
Mine?
mine.
Mine? I animated that with it was me, Bar, and Jared Tonin doing that one day.
Mine, mine.
Okay.
It's amazing how they give them such a simple line, but it captures the essence of a seagull so well.
It does.
Those damn things are flying trash compactors.
So,
I hate seagulls.
I like them aesthetically, but as a bird, they're annoying.
Yeah.
So
I
if you
was
go,
at SF Zoo with Dalek, and the seagulls were constantly trying to snake our food. And we're getting more aggressive because some people gave them some food.
yes.
They have been emboldened.
Yeah.
So there's a fancy market downtown, and during the summer, they'll actually bring hawks, like trained hawks, in, and they just chill on their handler's arm, but they're basically to scare away the seagulls.
Smart. Really smart, actually. Because then you don't have people getting harassed by very aggressive, hungry birds.
Yes. Well, there's signs everywhere that say once you leave, it's up to the seagulls. Like we're not responsible if the seagulls eat your food. That's on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Buddy also had a GPS voice pack that he was using. Where it was like an Australian dude, and when you arrived, one of the lines that was dropped is "Don't let the gulls get your chips." I'm just sitting there like, that's hilarious because that is absolutely what they will do.
Oh, you were supposed to turn there, you shit.
Oh, you just passed the last Bunnins. Where are we gonna get a snag now? I could go for a sausage.
I like Australia in terms of endearment in particular. Because they're so aggressive.
Yes, there was what I was going to say, but I was like, I don't know if Twitch would allow that.
This is the one I'm. It's probably the one I'm thinking of too, and they would.
4 letters, starts with the C.
Ends with a T.
Yep.
Rhymes with punt. Yeah, I don't think Twitch has an issue with that one. Ah! I fell.
Have you tried
Gravity.
not falling?
I had considered it, but I thought it would be more entertaining this way.
See, if you had just what's that? What is that from? Where it's like, oh, flying's easy. All you have to do is fall at the ground, but then at the last split second, not decide not to or something.
Yeah, you just gotta miss.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's not flying, it's falling with style.
Okay, Buzz Lightyear.
Okay, so we carry the Lorcata, the Disney TCG at work, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when the booster packs come in, if they're like damaged, we put them aside. And usually right on the box they're crunchy or something like that, or damaged. Well, somebody put busted on one of the boxes, so I was like, it reminded me of that line in Toy Story when Sid picks up the toys and he's like, this one's busted, and Woody goes, who you calling busted, Buster? So under busted I wrote, who you calling busted, Buster? And I realized I'm the only one at work who's going to get a kick out of this, but every time I saw it I laughed at myself, so you know.
That's actually, so at Haunt there was a little rule of advice that was given out to new actors pretty frequently, which was
If it's
if you
liquid and
can't
not yours,
scare
don't
them,
touch it.
it's not yours, don't touch it. If it's wet and it's not yours, don't touch it. One day, there's another story attached to that one actually, so we'll revisit that in a second. But
Put a pin in it.
we'll put a pin in it. The thing was, if you can't scare them, make them laugh. If you can't make them laugh, make yourself laugh. Because at the end of the day, the only way to keep up energy is to either get a reaction or to be having fun. And so we would tell people, it's all right. You're not going to get every single person. Someone will. Just keep the energy up, keep them entertained at the very least. And if they don't want to be entertained, well, we already got their money, and that's the scariest thing about it. Okay, window frames. I need barge boards. What the fuck is a barge board? That's a barge
Mm.
board.
The board on a barge.
So it's the fly on the flea on the bump on the log and the hole in the bottom of the sea. Obviously.
Yep. The wings on the fly on the frog on the bump on the log and the hole at the bottom of the sea. I know this song. Let's see. I'm looking for more barge board and buttresses.
Ooh, flying buttresses or just normal buttresses?
Just normal buttress.
Oh, that's no fun.
Barge board.
And somewhere a minion is laughing.
What? Yeah, I don't remember what makes it a flying buttress, but I'm pretty sure these are standard.
Those in the air with wings that are flapping?
Yes, that would technically mean it's flying. Maybe it's falling with style. Sound like you had something, Summer.
Did I? Possibly.
It's dead.
If I did, I don't remember it.
We've murdered it.
What else is new?
Soiled it.
Hi, yes, police. I'd like to file a report. Yeah, I'd like to report the murder of Bum Rush's train of thought.
Choo choo crash.
Chugga,
House
chugga, chugga,
extinct.
chugga, choo, choo. Massive crash, no survivors.
Swerve, smash, violent explosion.
Big bada boom. That's a movie I need to watch again.
Okay, speaking of movies, I need to watch again. This was actually something that happened the other day. I was watching reruns of Frasier, like the old one, not that the reboot. And Nathan Lane was a guest star on one of the episodes.
Mhm.
And I thought, man, I haven't watched The Birdcage in a long time. I'm going to go watch The Birdcage. So I'm watching The Birdcage, and one of the paparazzi in The Birdcage is the guy who plays the station manager in Frasier.
What a twist!
I was like, I wasn't expecting that. And yet, here we are. Also, Hank Azaria is just hilarious in that movie.
Mm.
It's one of his very few live roles.
Here's
He had a lot of dead rolls.
Well, he's mostly a voice actor. You know, he did like 40 voices on The Simpsons
jeez.
before they decided to recast half of them.
But did he ever have an argument with himself imitating, as two different characters imitating each other?
You know,
Huh.
I'd have to rewatch. I actually haven't watched The Simpsons in a long time.
Because
Like
Mel Blanc
from the
did that.
yeah.
This guy's turning this washroom into a nightclub.
This is a washroom?
Yeah, here, let me show you.
Oh, I'd sooner piss in the bush.
Toilets. Weird urinal things.
I'd sooner piss in the bush.
Yeah, it's kind of dirty.
Sam,
That's
Mel
why I'm
Blanc
here.
once did a voice acting bit for Looney Tunes, because he's the voice actor for Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck.
Mhm.
So he did it as Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck arguing with each other while mimicking / imitating each other's voices.
Oh god.
Ugh, this gives me like bad truck stop vibes.
Yeah.
You know, where you wonder if it's worth it to use the outhouse or if it's just worth it to grab some napkins and, you know, find a spot behind a tree.
Wait till you see when I'm done with it, though.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be very spiffy.
Very spiffy. It'll be cleaner than my driving record.
It won't be cleaner than my driving record. You want to know why?
Doesn't exist?
Exactly.
I understood that. I had a kid come through with the name Lucas Lee. And all I could think the whole time I was photographing him was, oh, he seems nice. Either of you know that reference?
No.
No?
Got Pilgrim versus the World. Lucas Lee is one of the evil exes. He's into like extreme sports and he's an actor as well.
Hmm.
And he starts kicking Scott's ass and just turns to Ramona and goes, "What's up? He seems nice." And then elbow drops the guy. Played by
Honestly.
Chris Evans.
Oh, is that Chris Evans' character.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, Necro, if you say have you seen, the answer is probably no.
Have you seen my sanity?
Definitely not. It's probably partying somewhere with mine.
Shit, we gotta go find it. You don't want whatever's happening in that party.
Yeah, funnily enough, I've somehow managed to just not watch, I'd say, a good 90% of popular movies.
It's okay. Most of them aren't very good.
I'm not a big movie person, to be honest, especially going to the theater. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I'll
why
go
you
to the
sit.
theater if I'm going with friends as an experience, and even then, watching at home, I either have to really want to watch the movie, like the premise is really interesting, or I am watching with friends there.
At least if I'm watching at home, I can pause it and be like, no, I'm coming back to this in 10 minutes or something,
Yeah. I want to go do this other thing instead right now.
Yeah.
Or have the sudden, I gotta pee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And you don't have to do Return of the King and, make sure you empty your bladder beforehand because you're stuck there for 3.5 hours.
I just don't get any, snacks or drinks when I'm at the theater. A, they're just
Oh,
too expensive, and
yeah.
B, that's how you're going to miss the movie because you're going to have to go to the bathroom midway through.
So
Yes, frequently I end movies either having to go to the bathroom really badly or having a headache because I'm dehydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, funnily enough, speaking of Return of the King, when me and my family went, they were actually patting people down, and we were bringing snacks in because obviously we're not paying for the ridiculous concessions prices. And see, there we go. I can't speak. So I was actually just wearing track pants with a really hefty elastic in the ankle, and I just had bags of chips and stuff shoved down my pants. And because they were track pants, it really look like anything different. And they just went, oh, okay, go on.
I'm surprised most theaters don't even. They're like, yeah, just don't make it obvious that you're smuggling food in.
Yeah.
We're not paid enough to care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bought the ticket. That's enough for us.
Yeah.
I had actually applied to be a manager for a theater in the area when I was in the middle of the job hunt.
Yeah.
Actually, I could start filling out some applications now, just in case.
That is not how thumbs work. Do you understand anatomy at all, Bumrush? No, I didn't think so.
You did.
My thumbs are made
Kill
of
a
rubber.
red spy on the way here? No. Problem. And a knife.
What do you have there? A knife!
No! Kill me. Later.
What time is it? 8 o'clock?
Yeah, just about.
You know what I've been craving all day that I think I'm going to go get? A beer.
Yeah, I've been thinking about picking up some beer lately, but...
Just how you said that reminded me of the Canadian 12 Days of Christmas.
And a beer in a tree.
No, it's just and a beer.
Fair enough.
Now you do get 5 golden toques.
Yes.
Equipment.
I know I sounded super Canadian earlier. I was talking to another friend and I was like, "Oh yeah, I bought a 2.6 of rye and I still haven't gone through it." And I was like, "Oh geez, could I sound more Canadian right there?"
Sure. Wouldn't be. Would be. I don't know where I'm going with that. Never mind. We're gonna let that joke die, along with the brain cell. Sorry, anyone who's using it. It's gone now.
Oh well, that's fine. I'll come back to it later. I don't need it right now. I'm drawing inappropriate things, so it's all good.
Oh my. Rush, are you
Oh
holding out on
my.
me?
Sorry, Necro, what was that?
I said, are you holding out on me? Back at the carnival. Convert the sinks into a drink dispenser, huh? Ew. Sorry, I'm reading the texts from the character in this game of, like, his plans to convert this thing into a nightclub.
Ugh.
Speakers built into the floor. Hit you with the deepest bass beats. Goes up. Okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Yes, I'm going to BRB and I'm going to go grab a beer.
Do it. I should actually do my BRB and go post those pictures and maybe get myself a little snacky.
Okay, I have returned.
I thought you were
Oh,
gonna
good.
have to
Weird
like
word for a
run
moment
to a
there.
store for a beer.
Oh, no.
You had beer. Excellent.
I have. You know what the funny thing is? This was left over from Christmas. That shows you how often I drink.
I mean, beer keeps. Sometimes it gets a little skunky, but it keeps.
Yeah, at my job, a lot of our customers will just buy like a 24 pack of beer and be like, "Okay, you guys fight over it." So I ended up with like nobody was taking it, and so I ended up with like 12 cans of beer or something, and I think I've drank maybe 3.
There you go. Eh. 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 Eh.
Were you about to start the Ed, Ed, and Eddie theme song?
No, I wasn't. It's stuff. Reference to something else entirely, though, that I usually think of when I'm doing it.
'Cause it sounded like the intro theme to Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah. Well, it's not my intent, but it is admittedly close. Yes. Such devastation. Yeah. You know, I have all those sound commands.
Yeah.
I think maybe 3 of them get used.
I don't remember half of them. That's my
There's a
problem.
command to remember them. Because I don't even remember them, and I'm the one who put them there.
I said I already have to remember like 40 on another stream.
To be fair, I do have some in common with Saito. Intentionally, but...
I know, I know. What is it?
Third, I think they have third eye.
Yeah, Third Eye.
Why?
Y.
And
Lantern.
lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lantern these
Lantern these
nuts.
nuts.
I need the no, I think, actually.
What
The
the Date no? Oh
no.
yeah.
The context for those lines, though, if you do not know them, is most of them are actually pretty bad. Especially
It's
when it's Date involved.
it's unfortunate that it's a visual novel because like the premise seems really interesting to me. Like it seems like something I'd enjoy. I just cannot stand visual novels.
Yeah. Definitely just watch a playthrough or something
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
want to play visual novels. Because
Only audio or felt novels.
I.
Well, it's only a felt novel if
Uh,
somebody else has touched it first.
uh,
Or it could be a novel made out of felt.
Yes, that's a joke I do to some people. I'll just walk up to them and like touch their shirt sleeve, and I was like, "Is this felt? Because it is now."
Yes.
Necro is regretting his choices.
Here we see a Necro regretting his life choices.
Clearly, he doesn't regret them that much. He's
I
been putting
was
up with me
regretting
for
my life
how many
choices
years?
before you jumped in the call, so it's fine. uh, my life is a mess.
Mood.
Welcome to life.
Welcome to life. It's messy and no one really knows what they're doing. Anyway, grab a seat.
You could even
Maybe a
say
beer.
it's
Sloppy.
Everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go do a quick BRB. I'm gonna go get some snacks, and I'm also gonna throw those pictures up on the Discord for you to see.
but Necro. You're already a snack.
Thanks. All right.
Welcome back.
My brain, when I was getting my snacks, thought about you calling me a snack. I just went,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe if I was a ghost pepper mixed with a durian.
That sounds like the worst possible combination.
That
Yet I guarantee you someone would eat that and enjoy
someone
it.
would.
Oof. Look, I like ghost peppers. I like spicy. But
Same.
I've never actually had durian, so I can't actually.
You have to win the genetic lottery to actually enjoy durian.
Oh, it's like cilantro.
Mm-hmm.
God. Looking at these pictures, Necro, now I know why they always choose Vancouver to shoot LA.
Oh,
Because it
that's SF,
looks.
so.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only difference is Vancouver's not nearly as hilly.
Yeah. But the hills would make it very difficult to shoot at, so.
Actually, 90% of the time, if you see the Golden Gate in a movie, it's actually the Lionsgate Bridge in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
I actually there's so many movies I can't watch because if they like okay, I watched Deadpool and Wolverine. A lot of it was filmed here. But
Yeah.
it was disguised in such a way that unless you were specifically looking for it and knew what you were looking for, it doesn't kind of look like anything. But like watching Once Upon a Time, for example, there were just so many things that were so obviously Vancouver that I'd be watching a scene, it'd be like a super serious scene. Excuse me. And then like our sea ferry would go by and it would take me completely out because I'm like, well, that's the sea bus. I can't do this anymore.
I know where they are.
Yeah. There so the main town of Once Upon a Time, Storybrooke, it was in this fishing wharf that's quite a ways out. And they actually just left the signage and stuff up 24/7 while they were still filming because it was just easier.
Yeah.
Um, but there was one point where the main character like went back to quote unquote New York, and it starts in her apartment and then she like goes down these stairs and goes onto the street, and as soon as she got onto the street I was just like, oh man, that's the old part of Vancouver. And then I could like count the stores as she was going by them. I'm like, I can't do this.
I know exactly where she is in Vancouver.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if it's subtle, it's fine, but like there were points like that, or like when I was watching the Sixth Day, which is a really B grade Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, which is saying something because they're all kind of B grade.
Yeah.
Um, he was like in a taxi, and the taxi drives around this roundabout, and he drops him off. And as the camera pans out, there's this like thing in the middle of the roundabout, and there's a giant globe. And I'm like, that giant globe looks familiar, but I couldn't quite place it. And then I saw a TNT supermarket in the background,
Eh,
and then it all clicked, and I was like, "Oh, I know exactly where they are."
uh,
So yeah, it is one of those things that the Simpsons actually did really. It had there was a little like welcome sign on one of the episodes that says "Welcome to Vancouver. Come for the tax credit, stay for the marijuana." It's like, honestly, they're not wrong.
yeah. There's a lot of film that gets shot down there. Or up
Oh,
there.
yeah, like Vancouver is probably like the most like one of the so one of the most used cities in probably all of North America for filming. Probably because it has everything. It's got a waterfront, it's got industrial districts, it's got,
Nice
high
people.
rises, it's got nice people, it's got giant parks. Stanley Park is bigger than Central Park. It's got bridges, it's got the ocean, and this is just downtown proper Vancouver. Like if you take the whole Vancouver district, which we just call the Lower Mainland, which is about let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'd say 8 times the size of Vancouver proper.
Yeah.
There's so much more you can do. There's like mountains and farmland and just everything you could possibly want. And if you go like a couple hours north, you get deserts. So, there is
Honestly,
really no shortage.
Sounds a lot like California, just older.
Yeah.
And a lot
Yes,
more
we-
condensed.
Yeah.
Well, no, the entire I think it's the population of LA is greater than the population of Canada.
That I would doubt.
Yeah.
I don't even think Vancouver's the most populous city in this country. Or LA.
Population of Canada is just shy of 39 million.
That. There's no way LA has that population.
Okay, yeah.
California as
LA's,
a whole, maybe.
Yeah, LA's only got just shy of 4. So yeah, maybe it is California. California 39 million. Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
the population of California is about 400,000 people more than the entire population of Canada.
Yeah. And people forget just how big Canada is.
Yes. Well, I think something like 50% of Canadians live south of Seattle because half of Canada lives in the Greater Toronto area.
Yeah.
Which I would not want to because that just looks like a population nightmare. I'm too old. I can't deal with people anymore.
I don't think
Looking like
age has
a true
anything to do with
misanthrope.
not dealing with people.
Well, so I used to be better. Like when 10 years ago, I was a lot better with dealing with people. Still wasn't, super happy about it, but, but nowadays it's like, nah. I have to really psych myself up to be around people. Like so every year, Vancouver has a fireworks show. So 3 nights, different country each night puts on a 25-minute fireworks show choreographed to music. And on the beaches alone, it averages 400,000 people a night.
Yeah.
That's not including the bridges or anywhere else that people might go. Yeah, and that's just the main beach, I should say, because it's on what's called English Bay, which is basically the entrance to the ocean. And that's just on the main beach, like English Bay Beach. If you go across the water to the other side, there's also a whole bunch of people over there, and there's a whole bunch of people on the bridges, and there's even people down at the fancy market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then getting back, because it's just giant crush of people, and everybody's taking the train because everybody's been drinking.
Mm-hmm.
It is atrocious. Actually, when we went this year, me and my coworker, we decided that we weren't even going to try to rush for the train. We ended up just like wandering around and like finding a cafe or something. We're like, we're just going to sit here for an hour. Like, sounds
Yeah.
good to me.
Just let the crush happen and then go.
Crushes are dangerous.
See, I'm a fan of the cream soda.
I caught that joke. I'm not sure I'm happy I caught that joke, but I caught that joke. Oh, you know what? I caught it with my face. I'm pissed. Catch it with your teeth.
Why are you catching puns with your teeth? That just sounds dangerous.
I don't have a pun for that. I'm sorry. I failed.
You should. And to be truthful, that wasn't really a great comeback.
You know, I have a bone to pick with you.
Is it a guitar or toothpick?
A guitar pick is called a something else. It has an actual name. I can't remember what it's called.
I've always just heard them called guitar picks.
No, they actually
Yeah.
have a name. Plectrum.
It's a guitar pick.
Yeah, but it's also plectrum is more like a broad term. Like,
Generalized term.
yeah, like if do you know what a shamisen is?
I was actually gonna just say what they use for a shamisen be called. Plectrum.
Yes, that is also a plectrum.
Cool.
Is that big funky shaped thing that you see used on those
Traditional
Japanese
Japanese instrument?
things?
Yeah.
It's like a 3-string Japanese instrument, but it's not actually a string instrument. It's a percussion instrument because they actually slap the strings as opposed to plucking the strings.
Yeah.
And that's what creates the unique sound.
Got that very stereotypical bang bang sound.
Yeah.
It's the instrument of used car dealers.
Sure.
Explain.
You got the stereotypical car salesman. He slaps things like, this thing's only got 5,000 miles on it. Runs like a kitten.
Yeah.
This baby can fit so much folklore in it.
Also, US military. This bad boy can commit so many war crimes.
But only the first.
Actually, I spoiled myself and I bought, excuse me, an electric eraser. So it's basically like a mechanical eraser, but you press the button and it spins at a super high velocity, and you can actually do like very fine erasing without like scrubbing the paper and like worrying about wrinkling it and stuff. So.
Made by GE.
Hmm?
They make things that spin.
Hey, GE, what do you make, buddy?
I make things that spin.
You're telling me the company that made that also made that?
Ah, yes, GE. They make washing machines, jet engines, and Gatling guns.
I like the ones where it's like, oh, Yamaha, I'm looking for a nice keyboard. What do you recommend? Oh, we've got one right here. Oh, and here's another question. I was looking for a motorcycle. Well, you're not going to believe this.
Yeah, Yamaha does make everything into anything.
Yep. They're that brand.
When I found out that
Yeah, the horror of manufacturing.
Michelin Tires was actually the people who made the Michelin like restaurant rating system. I was like,
Yep.
what?
Yep.
And what would a tire company know about food?
Well,
Not a whole lot, but
apparently
they know that they could sell people something that makes it sound like they're prestigious.
it was also apparently a ploy because most of the fancier restaurants were farther out, so they would have to drive further, ergo using their tires more.
Mm.
Mm. Clever girl.
Well, that's right. I was going to check what the weather's going to be like this week.
Hey, Mitsubishi, what are you making, buddy?
Okay. What do we got? Ooh, it's supposed to rain, and then highs of 18, highs of 21. Oh, highs of 26. Get out of here. I don't want that. Shoot. Highs of 31. Oh, butts.
Fucker. That's coming our way, I'm sure. I'm roasting alive in a place that's supposed to have air conditioning.
For me, it's not so much when I'm at home because I can just hide in my room with the air conditioning on. It's more when I'm at work and I'm in a concrete box with a steel roof that traps every and all heat.
Oh, yeah.
Toasty.
And you reach a point where no amount of hydration can help.
Yeah. Yeah. We can get real mad at our leasing office, though.
You haven't been there that long.
Yeah, no, we haven't, but we've also been paying for rent for a unit that was supposed to have central air conditioning.
And it doesn't.
It's been broken the entire time we've been here.
Oh my, yeah, that's definitely something to complain about.
Yeah. And my brother, bless his soul, is the kind who's very willing to be like, look, you need to fix this immediately, or you need to give us a reimbursement. Preferably
Yeah.
both.
Yeah. What you snacking on, Necro?
I couldn't hear what you were saying. Someone went by with a compensator.
Yes, I said what you snacking on.
Sour strawberry belts. It's like my favorite candy of all time. And they
Oh,
happen to have
that's
some
right.
on display at the grocery store. It's a generic brand too. So like
I
a
was
one
gonna make
piece. Huh?
I was gonna make banana nut bread and then I forgot.
Ooh, not bad. Banana.
Banana!
Banana.
Unpopular opinion, I actually like the minions.
I
They're
actually do
okay
as
in
well.
controlled doses.
I agree.
See,
They're
I
good in
just like the
small
stupid
bursts.
humor.
They're good in small bursts, but yeah, they're very much like a Disney sidekick. They're good for a few things here and there, but then you need a break, or like Olaf is.
Yeah.
Absolutely adorable, but he toes the line so well because if he had 2 more minutes of screen time, you'd want to punt him across the room.
Yeah.
I think Disney learned that with Kronk because they one point, I think they gave him either his own movie or his own TV show for a bit.
TV show.
And
No, it was a movie.
Was it? Kronk's
Yeah.
New Groove?
Emperor's New School was a TV show. Kronk's
Oh,
New Groove
yes.
was a movie.
Yes, yes.
My favorite movie of all time was Emperor's New Groove. You can trust me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Necro. What's my favorite Disney movie?
Frozen.
Wrong.
No?
No. It is one of
Huh.
my favorite Disney movies, but it is
Huh.
not my
Head Knobs and
favorite.
Broomsticks.
You know, I like that movie, but it's not my favorite.
Huh. Hmm.
I'll give you a
I'm
hint. It's
blanking
from,
on any Disney titles.
I'll give you a hint. It's from the Renaissance.
The Renaissance. So are we talking like all the princess movies or after all the princess?
1989 through 2000.
The princess movies.
No, because there's Cinderella, there's Snow White, there's Sleeping Beauty. Those are all from the Golden Era.
Mm-hmm. Lilo and Stitch. No, okay.
You managed to pick my least favorite Disney movie.
I
Like
actually
you don't know
really
me
like
at all.
it. But I don't know if Leslie came out.
I'll
I thought it was
give
gonna have
you
movies like Aladdin, Mermaid, Lion
Yeah.
King.
Beauty and the
Oh.
Beast, Mulan, The Rescuers Down Under,
Is it Lion
DuckTales.
King?
Lion King is up there, but it is not my favorite.
Okay, because he did request that I
The
sing.
original,
Be
just The
Prepared, so-
Rescuers.
The original Rescuers was, I think, 77.
No, was it before that?
Yes, it was definitely before then. The Rescuers Down Under was 91? 1990. Beauty and the Beast was 91, Aladdin was 92. Lion King was 94.
Drift, drift, street drift. I don't buy that. Well, he doesn't buy much of anything. He doesn't have any money.
That is my favorite Disney movie.
Blue one?
That is my favorite Disney movie.
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Aladdin's very good. I love it.
And it has Robin Williams.
Partially because I'm also just a huge Robin Williams fanboy and will admit it.
Yeah.
I mean, who isn't a Robin Williams fan? Let's be honest.
I'm sure there's someone out there.
And they are wrong. That man had range. And insanity.
Actually, you know what's funny? Did you ever watch Has Been Hotel?
I have, yes.
Okay, so one of my biggest beefs with people trying to do like videos and replicate Alistair's voice and mannerisms is I don't think they understand the like bombasticness that was like 50s radio DJs. And I was thinking if they wanted a good kind of like base point, they should look to Robin Williams because he has that like bigness, but he also has that snark and smarm when he
Yeah.
has to.
I mean, he did play a DJ in a movie once.
What, my dear? You think that people are simply going to act when they're imitating a character? No, they're going to do whatever they damn well please.
What, you mean Good Morning Vietnam?
Yes.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Okay, so there's an episode of The Simpsons. I want to say it's like season mid-20s. I can't remember, to be honest. But there was a Muslim boy moves in next to The Simpsons, and Bart's like friends with the kid and stuff like that, but Homer's being, paranoid and stuff like that. And he gets visited by this ghost in his sleep, and it takes the shape of the genie. And he goes through like 12 different references to Robin Williams movies in like a span of like 90 seconds. But what makes it even funnier is because it's voiced by Dan Castellaneta, who voiced the genie in The Return of Jafar.
And Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. He does a good job, I think, of kind of getting in the range that Robin Williams was in when he played the role.
He does better in Kingdom Hearts. He sounds very he sounds like he's trying way too hard in Return of Jafar, and then anytime he laughs, it's immediately obvious that it's not Robin Williams.
Yeah, yeah.
But
The only reason it wasn't Rob Williams in that movie is because Disney kind of pissed him off.
it kind of is an understatement.
Yeah.
But they made up enough to get him to come back for the third movie.
You know,
Was that third movie?
yeah.
Yes, King of
King of
Thieves.
Thieves.
Yeah, that I didn't watch Return of Jafar, I think. I only watched that one.
Good. King of Thieves for a direct-to-DVD is actually not bad. It's a pretty
It was
solid
probably
movie.
a direct-to-VHS movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tomato.
Direct-to-home video.
Yeah.
How's that?
There we go.
That's probably
Um,
what they actually called it.
I think it is, yeah. Yeah, Buena Vista Distributions would have been direct-to-home video.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good, honestly. And I've heard, I haven't actually watched it, but apparently the third Cinderella movie is actually really good as well.
Is that third?
There was
Yeah,
a second?
apparently. Yes. Most Disney movies have a sequel. There's very few that don't.
There's a
But apparently
third.
apparently the third one, the stepmother gets a hold of the fairy godmother's wand and goes back in time and screws everything up, and it's kind of I think it's called A Twist in Time. Apparently it's quite good. I haven't actually watched it, but
Huh. That actually sounds interesting.
yeah, there's there's a Bambi 2, there's I think Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Pinocchio. None of those have a sequel. Anything from the Dark Ages doesn't, because
There's a sequel to Lion King.
There's a sequel. There's a prequel. Well, it's actually a midquel.
The one with Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're making a prequel to the live action one. But then there was also the Timon and Pumbaa show, and
Yeah.
then there was one that came out recently called The Lion's Guard, I think it's called, which is in the same universe as The Lion King, but I don't think it has anything to do with the movies.
There was an Aladdin TV show. I remember that being decent.
Mhm. I really love the
Hercules TV show
Hercules.
also went hard.
Yes. I love the Hercules animated series. It had the most obscene list of one-off cameo voice actors. They'd be like, "Hey, you want to do a voice for 2 episodes for this random person?" They'd be like, "Yeah, sure." My favorite
be
that I
that guy.
remember. Yeah, exactly. My favorite that I remember is Artemis was voiced by Reba McEntire of all people.
Yeah, I remembered that from last time. I got that so wrong when you brought it up last time. I was way off base.
There's a lot of
let's
people
see,
that
now-
would be
now we're gonna-
more
we're
than
gonna
willing
look
to do
this
stuff just because
Hercules.
it's Disney.
Oh yeah.
Well, French Stewart was Icarus, so Third Rock from the Sun. Harry, the one who always squints.
Yeah. That's funny.
Okay.
So some of it is referential to their careers too.
Yeah. Well, that's Homer. Homer's Odyssey Homer shows up in the show, and of course he is voiced by Dan Castellaneta.
Yeah.
So let's see. James Wood is still Hades. Paul Schaefer is still Hermes. Corey Burton takes over for Zeus. Dan Castellaneta is Homer. Jodie Benson is Helen of Troy. Jodie Benson is Ariel.
So there was a
let's
mermaid
see.
sequel and TV show.
And there's a third movie too. So there's
There was
Little
a
Mermaid
third
2
mermaid movie?
Return. Yeah, Little Mermaid 2 Return to the Sea, which is about Ariel's daughter Melody, and then there's a prequel called Ariel's Beginning, which deals with how her mother died.
Oh lordy.
Let's see.
Disney does
Tress
like killing
McNeil.
parents.
Oh yes, they do. Tress McNeil, Jason Alexander was Poseidon. Jane Levy's was Athena. Okay, that could be interesting. Sorry, Jane Levy's and David Hyde Pierce are in this. Lisa Kudrow, Kathy Lee Gifford, Merv
she?
Griffin.
I was just making a joke based off the name.
Jim Cummings, but Jim Cummings doesn't count because he's in everything.
Man of 1,000 voices right there.
Yeah, Jim Cummings and Corey Burton pretty much voice everything Disney. Jim Belushi, Perry Gilpin. The entire cast of Frasier is here. All we're missing is Kelsey Grammer. Patrick Warburton, Linda Hamilton was in it.
Wait, in what?
The Hercules animated series. These are all people who are in the Hercules animated series.
What did Warburton voice?
Agamemnon.
I know the name.
Toby Huss from King of the Hill. Kathy Najimy from King of the Hill. Wayne Knight. Reba McEntire, Tom Arnold, Ed Asner. Vince Vaughn voiced Loki. Okay.
Hell yeah. I like that.
Carrie Elwes, Jennifer Aniston, Will Ferrell, Lacey Chabert, Clancy Brown, Harvey Fierstein, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Tia Carrere, Pamela Alden, who does Bobby Hill. William Shatner voices Jason of the Argonauts.
That's fun.
Heather Locklear, Eugene Levy, Idina Menzel. Okay. She's the voice of Elsa.
Oh, okay.
Gilbert Gottfried, who was not doing Iago. Jim Varney, Dom DeLuise, Carl Reiner, George Takei, Jane Curtin, Jerry Stiller, RuPaul.
RuPaul.
Yeah, apparently. Tim Conway, Regis Philbin, Ben Stein.
They basically got every celebrity who was a celebrity.
Terry Hawks. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Terry Hawks was the original English voice actor for Sailor Moon.
Oh, okay.
And Sailor Moon's English name is Serena. And the character she voices in the Hercules animated series is Serena. Emerald Lagasse. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Jean Smart, Jon Favreau, Betty White.
Wait, Jon Favreau?
Yeah.
What did he voice?
Jealousy. Just says Jealousy.
Huh.
Scott Wagner. Oh, he just did Aladdin again. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. And that's just the ones that I know off the top of my head. There's like 60 more that I didn't list off.
Damn. Yeah.
All right, when you've got Disney budget, you can bring all sorts of people in for cameos.
Especially like for like one-offs like that, where it's just kind of like hey, you want to come in for a couple hours and like, record a half a dozen lines?
Yeah.
We'll throw a few $1,000 at you. Okay. Excuse me. Now I'm going to look up because I don't think the Little Mermaid had the same like level of cameos. Because yeah, Hercules was like, "Here we're introducing a new god. Who wants to voice him? You good?" No.
And you get a god.
Nope.
And you get a god.
Mm-hmm. So bummers.
Do.
Before cleaning the stalls?
Uh-huh.
After cleaning the
Ugh.
stalls.
See, that looks like when you go to like the public pool or something, like the outdoor pool, and that's what you get. Like that's fine.
I wish they were all that clean here.
Well, they are here, so.
Yeah, I think I got a athlete's foot from one of the locker rooms here.
Oh,
didn't
apparently
make-
Tim Curry was in The Little Mermaid, the TV series.
Oh, okay. Oh, I am looking forward to playing Red Alert 3 because of one very specific line delivered by Tim Curry.
Apparently he's Spurs. Apparently he's back to acting. Apparently he's got a movie he's doing.
Really?
Yeah,
I
good for
heard
him.
he was dealing with some really major stuff that was going to prevent him from ever acting again.
Yeah, I think he's still wheelchair bound. But apparently he's in like good enough shape to do it. So
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic actor. I like him.
okay, Maurice LaMarche's Scuttle. That's funny.
If someone's gonna let him chew more scenery up from a wheelchair, then more power to him.
Mark Hamill was in the Little Mermaid series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you got to have Mark Hamill.
And Tony J. And Tress MacNeille doesn't count. Tress MacNeille's in everything. So I say
There's
Tress
so much
MacNeille only
graffiti.
has like 3 voices, and it's Crazy Cat Lady, Mom from Futurama, or a high-pitched, unidentifiably gender-neutral person.
As in the Simpsons crazy cat lady?
Yeah, Simpsons Crazy Cat Lady, and then Mom from Futurama.
I kind of hear the similarities now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though one doesn't really say anything.
To make a joke, actually, when you're saying high-pitched gender neutral.
Oh.
It's going to be like, goodbye.
You're not wrong.
I say that with love. I love Shumai.
It was more, I meant it as Tress MacNeille voices both boys and girls that are like under the age of 10 kind of thing. So.
Yeah. Here we go.
So I hope whoever's intending to turn this bathroom into a nightclub goes over this with a Heavy
lot of
amount of
antiseptic.
bleach.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a black light, but you know, both are good.
Because well, the power wash will get rid of all the surface little crap. It won't
There
clean
will
out
still
all
be
the
stuff.
contamination.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I would definitely hose this down with a bleach mixture and just let it sit.
I just seal all the doors and then go from the open one of those skylights up and just start dumping
Dump it
truckloads
in.
of
Bleach
it in there.
bomb. Bleach bomb. Like a fumigation for bugs, but bleach.
Hey, you just fill it up like a bowl with water and then over chlorinate like 20 parts per million. There you go.
I'll just fill the whole damn thing up with pure bleach.
Wait.
That would be expensive.
Are you saying
least
20
you can be
parts per
certain.
million in a whole pool is a lot?
Yes. Yes,
Huh.
it is. It's actually enough that you could actually start causing skin damage.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh, this looks like a fun album.
Is there a
Frog
local
Rock?
pool that's been over chlorinating their pool?
I mean, I haven't gone to a public pool in a long time, but oh no, that's not true. I went probably a year ago, but this I didn't know this was a thing. Apparently there's saltwater pools.
Yes. You basically end up with the same reactive elements as a result, but it's technically more economically and ecologically sustainable.
Yeah. I just didn't know that was a thing, and then because I was like, oh, it doesn't reek in here, and then yeah, it's a saltwater pool. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, they're kind of nice. Pain in the ass to maintain, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Salt water doesn't play nice with a lot of things.
Yep.
Like metal.
Yep. I mean, then again, neither does pool water, but
Whoever took the L off the motor pool sign, ha ha, we're all very amused.
motor poo.
That just reminded me of Homestar Runner. They have no P. There's no P on their pool sign.
Welcome to our ool. Notice there's no P in it. Let's keep it that way.
Yep, there we go.
So, we actually have at work, we have a Trogdor board game. Trogdor!
You know, I'm not surprised something like that exists.
It
Not in
wasn't
the
very
slightest.
popular.
Also not entirely surprised. There's a very specific demographic that would appeal to.
Yeah.
And
That's when I
that
saw
market
we
would
had
have already been saturated.
when I saw we had a Neopets TCG, I'm like, who are they aiming this at?
Us.
Yeah, but most of us already are up to our necks in different TCGs.
Magic, Pokemon, yeah.
Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and One Piece is fairly popular. One Piece and Digimon are fairly popular. The Bandai TCGs are quite popular, but
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
I'd heard people talking about them. I just had no interest because, like, I've already sunk some and Pokemon. I might as well just stick with it.
I can't be arsed to learn another TCG. I just don't have the time for the most part. That, and I'm very bad with blind boxes or anything akin to blind boxes. So, and especially at work when I get a discount, I really shouldn't be around it.
Yeah.
Granted, I have to buy it by the box, which is a little more, discouraging, but it's mostly the time thing. I just don't have the time to like go out and play and it's too competitive. Nobody wants to play a TCG. Everybody just wants to win.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's part of the problem I had playing it in college. Just people were bringing like super competitive decks, and they'd be like, "We should just do this and make your deck like this much better." I'm like, that takes money for one, and
Yeah.
two, who cares? The whole point is I want a social experience while having a game to play.
Yeah, I don't just want to sit here and watch you, monologue your deck and then end up with a one-turn kill because you pulled off some crazy combo and I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs.
Oh, I mean, that's mostly Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic, there
Yeah.
is no, like, one turn, but there are some stupid combos.
Yeah. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in, like,
Yeah.
the first 3 sets, but
Well, Sincera still plays it a lot.
yeah, I know.
The regular thing. But yeah, I've had people explain it to me. I'm like, so is it just like normally a thing where you like turn one, blow your entire hand, and if you're not able to do that, it's considered a bad turn?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the answer I always get. I'm like, cool. I don't want to play that then.
No.
Why not? Like, there's so much cool like strategies. Like, all the strategy happens in the deck building part of the game.
Yeah, like you're literally just building a deck to pull off a combo, and if you don't pull that off, then you're kind of just stuck. Whereas
Yeah.
like all the decks I've built have, you can win many different ways, and even if, my big monster gets taken out, I still have other ways around it,
Yeah. Literally, the meta is to build your game like you're in the anime.
Nobody does that.
Just,
I
oh,
do.
my deck does this one thing and only this one thing. Like, why? Like, yes,
You know
that's
what,
how you guarantee win condition, but come on, why?
Mhm. I would like this game, PowerWash Simulator, if I could actually, if there was an actual like power wash attachment. Like, I'm not saying it has to spray water, but I think the actual like
Like, light gun it?
movement of it. Yeah, exactly. I think I would like it if it did that because I like the satisfying effect of it, like the cleaning it all off, but just doing it with a controller would not cut it for me.
There is a VR version of it,
Oh, I can't do VR. I get so
but
sick.
as a result of the VR version existing, there would technically be some support for, like, motion controllers.
Yeah,
And
I can't.
modders may actually have made something that's, like, not VR, but does the VR control scheme.
Yeah, I can't do VR, unfortunately. Not until they get a better. I think I need another 2-3 generations of VR before I can do it because right now it's the same reason I can't watch like 60 frame per second games and stuff because it's too much information for me to handle all at once.
Oh, it's stimulation overload?
Well, I can't process it. Like,
Yeah.
there's just so much going on that my eyes start to hurt and then my brain starts to hurt, and I'm just like, I need to step back.
Yeah. That's, people are always, like, confused by that, but it's actually way more common than I think people fully realize.
I like things simple in general.
Yeah.
I'm not big on like everybody's like, oh well, I modded my Steam Deck so now it plays Tears of the Kingdom in 4K, and I was like, well, why do you need Tears of the Kingdom in 4K?
Because the kingdom was fine without the 4K.
Now, I understand shooting in 4K or 8K or whatever have you. Like I do the same with photos. I shoot in a very high resolution, but that's more just to have the high resolution so that if I need to edit it, if I need to crop it down, I have the
Mm-hmm.
pixels to work with.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I export it, it's always exported as like a real basic mid-level, export.
Mm-hmm.
I if I left my photos the size they were, I'd never be able to upload them. But
Yeah.
again, unless you're viewing these on a, 60-inch television, which most people aren't, you know. Now,
Yeah.
if I was printing these, if I was taking these for like billboards, excuse me, or something, that'd be a different story. But I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of billboards, I know it's a
Yes,
weird
I
segue.
realize my forehead is very big.
No, I wasn't even thinking that. Um, there's a local mogul where I live who basically owns a little bit of everything. He's mostly known for a grocery store chain,
Hmm.
several car dealerships, and like bus advertisements.
Okay.
And I got to meet him at work the other day.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, he's 95, and I had to stop myself from laughing because he had his pants cranked up to his nipples, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It was kind of funny in like an adorable
It's the
sense,
meme. It's the meme.
but I was just like, "Oh man!" But it was kind of, I was like, "Cool."
They
You know,
do exist.
you hear his name everywhere, and you see his name everywhere, but it was just kind of be like, "Oh," but he's also 95, and I don't think he actually like really does anything. He just likes to be a part of like the board meetings and stuff because he just likes it. So,
Yeah. Wants to be involved in something, keep busy.
yeah, exactly. So, I don't blame him for that. I'd be the same way. I'd be like, no, I need to do something. So everybody's like, if you won the lottery, would you still work? I'm like, yes. I'd probably work a different job, one that was only part time and something that I enjoyed a lot more, but I would still work
Yeah.
because I would just be bored out of my mind otherwise.
Bored out of your gourd.
Not my gourd. Oh man, now I want curried squash soup.
You're welcome.
Oh my
I'll
god.
I'll wait another week or so until when they start being really in. Oh, I think they're close to being in season.
Mm. Oh god. That gave me scratches on my chest.
Hmm.
Right here. When I stretch, it kind of stretches the wound.
Mm.
Yeah. I love these time lapses of cleaning. So
Little
satisfying.
man. Doot, 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 doot. Oh, there goes the gnome. No, no, no lost woods, thank you.
Actually, not what I was trying to go for, but it's been a while since I've heard it. It was
Or was it Hall of the Mountain King?
no, I was going for Papyrus Esteem in Undertale.
Okay.
What is that called? What is the title?
Is it Bone Trestle?
Yes. I
I've never played Undertale.
Me neither.
have not played it. I've watched multiple playthroughs, um, including people playing on both sides of the storyline. So like
Hmm. Hmm.
getting both possible endings. But
Aren't there 3 endings?
there are three. One is just an intermediate step to get the others, basically, or one of the
Okay.
others. Um,
Because I know there's the
it's a
pacifist route, the like normal, quote unquote, normal route, and then the genocide route.
yeah, and you have to go through the normal route to get the pacifist route.
Okay.
Because you basically finish that storyline and then reload, and you have to go do some other stuff
Hmm.
from that save point before, because like that stuff doesn't get unlocked unless you have the clear data.
Ah.
Yeah, the game uses a lot of like save data, metadata stuff going on to really like alter your experience. That's kind of interesting.
Mm. That
I
was
need to do a quick ad break, but I think we're just gonna move to chatting instead of me going full on AFK.
okay. Um Saito was playing a game that was kind of like that. What was it called? Slay the Princess, I think?
Yeah, so that's a visual novel, kind of choose your own adventure game.
But it
Um,
was kind of neat in the way that even when it was quote unquote game over, when you reloaded it, it wasn't really game over.
Yeah, you basically would die like 3 times and then get your actual ending based off of everything you had done in those 3 deaths. It was really good concept for a game. I do want to play it at some point. It's like one of the few visual novels I have considered.
Yeah, no, I actually like the idea of it too. Like I would probably play that, but because it's a little more I think it's a little more engaging, a little more active. You're not just sitting there like reading a story. You're like, I'm reading, 6 lines of dialogue and then I have to make a choice. And then
Yeah.
whereas like I have the Somnium Files or Phoenix Wright or 999, I'm just like sitting there like mashing the A button bored.
Yeah. Sources, browser. Oh wait, I have your Fugi already set up because I had you in the other scene. There we go. Oh,
My Fugi disappeared, so I was just a disembodied voice all this time?
yeah. How cool is that?
Ooh. It's my disembodied voice era.
Oh my god. I didn't run an ad. Run the ad, damn it.
Add the run.
Add the run. There we go.
Add the run.
Um,
Speed run strats.
while I was managing the pool, one of the things I kept repeatedly telling, especially the younger kids who are working there, do not date anyone you work with. It's a bad idea.
Yeah. Don't dip your pen in company ink.
Yeah. Happened twice.
Of course.
Both times it blew up in their face.
Of course.
And I had to just be like,
Was this the same
this is why I
person?
warned you. No. 2 separate
No.
ones. And then before that, before I was manager, it happened like 3 times. And every single time I was like, are you sure this is a good idea? Are you sure this is a good idea? But the reason I was reminded of this was one of the ones while I was a manager that blew up. The dude started getting real creepy. He started referring to it as, "This is my demon arc."
Oof.
Yeah, real cringe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Waiting for the shouts of I have the power of God and anime on my side.
Come at me, bro. Oh, let me untangle my headset's cable really quick.
Oh, that picture of Zag looks like he is going to murk you so hard.
So I have a lot of good
Father.
examples of how to not behave in the middle of my breakup. Because, yeah, seen some people really not handle it well at all.
Yeah. I mean, if it's one of those places where the office is like absolutely massive and has like 40 different departments and stuff like that, okay, maybe.
Maybe date
But
someone from a different department.
yeah.
Do not date people you work with every single day. You will be thankful to have the workplace be a place separate from your relationship.
Honestly, I told a friend that once. He's a very good friend of mine and was like, "Oh, there's an opening at my job. Do you want to work with me?" And I kind of gave him the like kind of but no, I'll think about it kind of
It's
thing,
not you, it's me.
Um, and he kept pushing it, and I kind of ended up like breaking down a little and being like, I don't want to work with you. And he's like, well, I'm not offended, but like, why not? And I was like, because we have a good relationship right now, and a lot of that is based on the fact that, excuse me, uh, you respect my boundaries and stuff like that. And I just feel that if we worked together, and then hung out as well outside of work, I would get so sick of you.
Yeah, yeah. Too much of you, dude. From my previous correspondence, my helter skelters felt security after rolling down the entire length of Willow Creek. We don't need to revisit specifics, all we need to concern ourselves. I cannot live in a world where helter skelter is being economically outperformed by carousel. Personally, I think the carousel is the superior attraction, but okay.
It's just a slide, isn't it?
Yeah, helter skelter is just a slide. There's a bit of
I
a fun
mean,
house element as you climb up it, but
I would take the slide over the no, well, no, carousel's fine. I just don't really like uh carnival rides in general, so I don't really like roller coasters or stuff like that.
I wish I didn't
I
get
wouldn't
so
consider
motion
a
sick
roller
'cause I
coaster a
love
carnival
coasters.
ride, but
Amusement ride. Um,
There
there
there's
there
a
are some pop-up coasters.
Yeah, there's actually one that we have here. It's just called the Coaster, and I think it's like one of the last wooden roller coasters in Canada.
Oh, jeez.
That's actually one of the only ones I don't mind.
Wooden coasters are very different from steel coasters in terms of design concept as well, so that might be
You
part
know
of
what?
it.
You know what I didn't realize? Wooden coasters are entirely based off gravity.
Yep. You go up to the top of the
so are
first hill,
most
and
steel
then
coasters.
that's the highest you will ever be again.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah.
I thought there was always like a chain pulling them along, but no.
Nope.
No, you know what scares me? Those roller coasters with like the negative drops.
The ones that send you into the harness.
Yeah, yeah, the ones that drop you like more than 90 degrees and I see those and I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
nope.
yeah, yeah.
Like
You're
it's
basically
bad
going
enough.
downhill under the rail.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. I'm definitely more of a wooden coaster fan.
It feels better to me, like just in general. Like, yeah, it's a little more rickety, but it just feels better.
The ride in general is more gentle.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's going to depend on how old and how well maintained the coaster is, because they can make some wooden coasters that ride pretty smooth.
yeah, yeah.
No, this one's
Well,
pretty
that's
smooth. Like,
so when I say gentle, I mean like steel coasters pull a lot of intense turns and um, like they'll do loops and stuff like that. Wooden coasters, it's literally just banking and hills.
yeah.
There are some wooden coasters that have loops.
Are
Yeah,
What's
Um
the
I think the one
thing?
down at the boardwalk does.
Mm, wooden coasters are typically just free riding on the rail. They're not actually like wrapped around the rail like a steel coaster is. It could be a wooden construction steel coaster at the
so
boardwalk.
this roller coaster was built in 1958 and it is still operational. It has a total height of 68 feet and speeds up to 47 miles an hour.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, 76 kilometers an hour. That's like bordering on highway speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking of the Incredicoaster at Disneyland, which
The
it looks like
Incredicoaster.
a wooden coaster, but
Yeah.
I think it was constructed to look like one too, I think, but it's got a loop in
Yeah,
it.
yeah. The the only reason I was like nitpicking that is because like roller coasters were for a while actually a passion of mine to learn about and understand. And you can blame Roller Coaster Tycoon for that.
I played Dino Park Tycoon.
Dino Park Tycoon or Zoo Tycoon with the dinosaur expansion?
No. Dino Park Tycoon on DOS.
Oh, old school. Okay.
Ah, good old MS-DOS, when you had to enter a command prompt to start your game.
Mm-hmm. Actually,
Kids don't
I
know how to
was
use the command prompt anymore, and I
no.
blame us not having DOS.
That's all MS-DOS was.
Yeah.
You know what was funny? Like I said, I was rewatching reruns of Frasier, and there was a shot of his bedroom in one episode, and in the background was a Macintosh 128.
Ooh.
And I was just like, wow. That's the computer I grew up on.
Yeah, I grew up with Windows. From like a DOS box all the way to like my dad basically made the upgrades whenever possible. So,
Oh,
yeah.
swanky.
We did Windows 95, we did Windows 98, we did Windows ME, Windows XP. And then from there
yeah.
I was more in charge of my own computer and managing it and paying for stuff. So I think I did Windows Vista,
Mm-hmm.
7 and 10 and 11. I skipped 8.
8 wasn't that great.
8 was really only good for tablets because it had a lot of incorporations and UI setups that were built to kind of imitate iOS touch devices. So like
Mm-hmm.
the iPad and the
Yeah.
iPods, all those. So like it made sense for like a portable thing with a touchscreen device, but anything other than that, like, no, this interface does not make sense whatsoever.
Yeah. But yeah, because you're a few years younger than me, so yeah, you probably would have started with Windows. Because I know by the time I hit grade 7, we started using Windows. We moved from Mac to Windows.
Yeah.
And then I used Windows for a few years, and then when I went into when I took media technologies in grade 11, they had a whole bunch of the Macintosh G series. I think they were all G4s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those were nice computers.
I think it was middle school for me was the last time I used an Apple computer, and
Yeah.
those were iMacs.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah, the iMacs are good. I had a MacBook Pro laptop for many, many, many years. The only reason I upgraded it was because it had a total of 4 gigs of RAM, and it just wasn't cutting it anymore.
Yeah.
So I had to upgrade. And unfortunately, because I wanted to keep using a Mac, because I do a lot of media stuff, and they're designed for media. That's what they're meant for. What I wanted in a Macintosh or Apple would have been $2,000 more than what I could get in a PC.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, I'll just go with the PC.
Yeah. I think Mac being designed for media purposes was partially a marketing thing. Because they were like, I edited this on a Mac. Was their whole marketing thing. At least nowadays, for sure, they really aren't like any special.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays they're built with the same components as your regular PC is.
Yeah.
Yes and no. They actually have proprietary components which are weirdly shaped, so you can't just like if I were to take my PC apart, I could buy any old hard drive, any old RAM, and plug it in. You can't do that with modern Apple computers because they're weirdly shaped and proprietary, so you actually have to only buy Apple parts.
Yeah.
2012, 2014, I think was about the last time Apple made a computer that didn't have that. So like I had to replace the hard drive in my MacBook Pro because it was just old and failed.
Yeah.
So there's technically
as
like
hard
a third
drives
party
do.
one in there, and it was installed by the Apple Store. And it was installed by the Apple Store. So obviously it wasn't really a thing at the time, but now they're just like, no, we're gonna make your hard drive into a weird S shape so you can't do anything. And it's like, oh,
Okay.
thanks.
I mean, Apple's very fond of their proprietary technology.
Well, they fought
Mm-hmm.
having to use USB-C for as long as they did.
Yep.
They fought the EU tooth and nail on that one.
Yeah, it doesn't make
I'll be
sense.
honest. It really doesn't. Because the people who are going to buy your product, Apple, are the people who are going to buy all the accessories you sell for it, regardless of like compatibility options.
And that's
Yeah.
why they didn't want the there to be more options. They wanted to keep people having to buy their overpriced cables with their stupid little connectors.
There are plenty of people who will still.
Oh,
Oh,
you
yes.
mean like the people who buy the $1,000 Apple stand?
When literally any old stand will do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's such a thing as brand loyalty to a fault. I have admittedly been guilty of that with my like mouse and keyboard choices. I almost always buy Razer.
Since I don't do PC gaming, I really don't care. Like
Yeah.
I have Logitech is like my go-to because it's just it's a good solid brand. It's not super expensive. It does what I need it to.
Mm-hmm.
We're Gucci.
Yeah, no. Logitech, if it weren't for the fact that I like having the chroma effects and stuff like that, and the ease of setting them up that Razer does, would actually that's where it
Yeah.
was going for a long time. And honestly, if it weren't for the fact that I'm streaming and you want to eventually do like a desk cam setup, for when I'm playing some of the more like input intensive games, and then having the controllers showed off, and I could actually
Yeah.
do some stuff where people could change the color schemes on them.
Mm.
Through like points.
Yeah, I there was
Um,
another streamer I watched for a long time who had that. You could
Yeah,
change it to
Lumia
like
Stream is a powerful
Yeah.
program for that. So that's something I've been considering, and so like I might still buy Razer if I buy another replacement anytime soon, but I will be the first to admit I'm buying overpriced, basically plastic rack.
Yeah. If it makes you happy and you're not being super preachy about it and being like, this is the only thing you should buy, whatever goats
Yeah.
your boat.
No, I don't do that with marketing stuff unless like no legitimately.
Alyafa now got a few minutes before it's time to walk doggo.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah!
look-
Welcome back, niece. Everyone say
There's
hi.
a hi niece. There's a huge difference between what you're going to buy is a complete and utter piece of crap. May I recommend something slightly better?
Hello, friend.
And you should only buy this because it goes at 8 million frames per second and it's only good for blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, like there are certain things where it's like I will tell people buy Nvidia, buy Intel for video card CPU.
Yeah.
Because
Actually, right now, I think AMD is your better shot.
is it
Um,
okay?
Intel has their latest Intel chips have a problem where they just start start overloading their cores, or little bits
Oh
of
yeah,
themselves,
I've
and
heard about
burning
that.
themselves out.
Yeah,
And they've just recently figured out how to code that better,
yeah,
so that they're not slowly bricking their own chips.
yeah. I heard about that. That was something that Pirate Software was talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Intel made a bit of an oopsie.
but my thing is, even because it's been a problem for a while, even my experience with Intel stuff has been superior than my like couple experiences with AMD, which was my AMD stuff burned out in like 2 or 3 years anyway. And started seeing like really heavy performance drop. So I'm just like, yeah, just don't.
Their CPUs are good. I don't know about their graphics cards, but their CPUs are usually pretty decent.
AMD, the Radeon graphics cards.
Yeah, they make them
Yeah.
now. It was originally it was ATI that made those, but they got bought by AMD.
Yeah. So the biggest problem that I say or I cite with Radeon graphics cards is there's very little support
Yeah,
by game devs.
that's why you see a lot of people complaining like, this game doesn't run with AMD cards.
Yeah. So it's like if you're a gamer, do not. You're just gonna have an easier life if you don't, and you just go for NVIDIA. Granted, there are some compatibility issues between AMD CPUs and NVIDIA graphics cards.
That's not really much of a problem
Sometimes,
anymore.
yeah, it's not huge, but it has been known to happen.
I think it was more of a thing back when AMD first bought
Radeon,
ATI.
yeah,
Um, because they're like, yeah, we want to make these things run together, and I think they've a little bit accepted the fact they're never going to beat NVIDIA for the graphics card market.
yeah.
So at least play nice with them.
You know, that's the smart way to do it, because then at least you can have a competitive option to try and beat.
You are all talking gibberish to me.
We're talking about monopolies right now and why they're a bad idea.
Corporations are not your friends.
No. Although
Brand loyalty is not a good like.
I do need to look into building a new PC in the next couple years, I'd say. Like mine's still trucking along pretty good, but it's definitely starting to bog down a little. So
Yep.
and I don't even run anything super heavy, but I can't even like I had to switch from Chrome to Edge.
Oh, I mean, Chrome just sucked in general.
Yeah. But even then, I can't run like 2 windows of Edge and like if I have Discord, Messenger, and say Photoshop running, it's bad. And heaven forbid I try to run a game.
Yeah. Actually, funny thing about that, those programs are all actually somewhat intensive on resources.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
people don't
big
think
thing they
about it.
chew up is your RAM.
Yeah. I think I've got 16,
That's usually fine.
12. 12.
Well,
What
yeah.
OS are you on?
Windows 10? Yes, Windows 10.
Should be.
That's fine. As long as you got more than
Yeah.
8, it's more than enough for handle, because pretty much all OSs want you to have 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Now, I have had people like try to make arguments about like the increments you should be doing or shooting for on RAM. Sometimes people will be like, "Oh yeah, you need to make sure you're doing like powers of 2." I don't know the veracity of such claims, but
All the numbers are powers of 2.
multiples, not powers.
I mean, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. All the numbers go in that.
So those are multiples, not powers.
Yeah. No,
Powers would be 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So anything in between those is actually not.
yeah, 2,
And
4,
the
8.
argument being base 2.
Yeah.
So you'd be going like each digit you go up in base 2 counts as multiplying it by 2 rather than or the previous number by 2.
Another thing I say is apparently like the most recent motherboards have problems supporting more than 2 sticks.
Yes.
So any new upgrades are going to be only 2 sticks. I would recommend getting 2 sticks and make sure they're the exact same stick.
Yeah.
Because if they're not the same, that's when you start getting problems.
What was that?
That was
Compensator.
Yeah.
Ah,
Muscle car. I think might be a
sweet
motorcycle.
mercy.
Yeah, good old American Muscle. Advertising his small penis. People don't usually hear me talk like that, so.
Oh no, I do that all the time. Anytime, like if I'm like waiting at the bus stop and somebody goes by, I'm like, okay, well, you have a small penis, thank you.
Yep. My coworker, a car pull with, got to hear me. Like someone was driving like an idiot, and I just went, "Just do what you're trying to do, you dipshit." And he starts cracking up. I'm like, "That one got you, huh?"
Shit or
trying
get
to-
off the pot.
Yeah, I'm trying to find how old my PC is.
They usually won't tell you how old they are.
The PC
know.
itself won't have any information. You just have to.
No, I know. I'm trying to Google it.
Oh, you right. It's a pre-built.
Yeah, it's a all-in-one.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people who build
It's
their
like,
own little
wow, you're so
bad-mouth
cool with your
pre-builts
fast and
or
loud car
all-in-ones.
rolls
It's like,
eyes.
unless you know what you're doing in terms of building your own, which it's not actually that hard to do, but unless you want to do that or you know you're willing to take time to learn to do that, the pre-builts are just fine.
Yeah.
They do their purpose.
I've had this one for at least 5 years.
And the one advantage they have over build your own is the fact that you don't have to then, if something goes wrong, you don't have 20 different customer services you have to go through. You just have one customer service to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, my chat, right? It's like, wow, you're so cool with your fast and loud car. Rolls eyes.
Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. It's like
I will say fast cars are cool. Loud cars are not necessarily fast cars.
so I work in an industrial district, right? And there's a tow yard across the way. And every now and then there'll be these muscle cars that like rev up and down the street, and they don't look out for pedestrians in the slightest, and it's just like this one guy was like revving at the little driveway, and I'm like, oh buddy, my ovaries are exploding right now. Like just absolutely dripping
Dripping
in
with
sarcasm.
sarcasm, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it says Windows was installed on August 9th, 2020.
Well, that's not that
So,
Yeah, that
yeah,
would
it's
be a
about
pretty
4 years
accurate
old.
estimate of your computer age.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fast car is cool. Loud cars that aren't old are unnecessary.
No, that can't be right.
Yeah.
2020 was the pandemic.
It's the
You had it before
second
that?
year of the pandemic.
Yeah, I had it
2019.
before.
Maybe you did a fresh install?
Oh, I did. I did do
So need to walk doggo.
all right, walk the doggo.
Alrighty. Have fun walking doggo.
Yeah, I did like a full I backed everything up and did a full factory reset on it. So that
Do you
probably
remember how
was
long you had it before you did that?
a couple years.
Okay, so it's probably like a 6, 7-year-old computer.
Yeah. And
Okay.
So it makes sense that it's starting to chug a little bit.
Yeah,
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 and honestly, but it still works. Like I'm used to slow computers because, like I said, I learned on old Apple IIs and stuff like that, which you'd put in the 5 1/4 inch floppy.
yeah.
You're sitting there for 30 seconds to a minute waiting for it to read everything, even though it's like even though it's like 128 kilobytes.
That's so crazy where we've come in terms of like data capacity on things, but
Oh yeah.
also the complexity of the programs requires that size of a capacity.
Yeah. So I'm patient with it. I'm not like, oh no, it's taking a little longer than it should. I need to upgrade immediately. It's like, nah.
We'll survive.
Yeah. When like Twitch starts lagging on me because it can't handle it, and then we'll think about it.
As that computer went 6-8 years.
Yeah.
Was that the one that's sitting in my living room right now?
No, not that one.
Okay, there was one in between.
I actually still have my MacBook Pro. It's sitting in my desk right now. It's still safe for the fact that the only downside was I couldn't run my photo editing programs. It couldn't handle raw photos. It had to be JPEGs. It just wouldn't handle raw photos. And I was like, well, this is kind of like my big hobby. I really need a computer that can handle that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I probably would have used it for another year or so because it still worked fine. It still works fine. It's just slow.
I actually want to
That's really the big thing you need when you're doing lots of photo editing is RAM.
I also was told that the processor is a big thing as well.
That will help
yes.
a little bit, but from my understanding, your RAM is the big thing because that will determine how much stuff it can do at the same time.
Yeah, how many processes it can use at once.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I understand like the bare bones of computer building, but I still wouldn't trust myself to actually put one together.
That's just perfectly fine. Not everyone has to be a build your own computer specialist.
But
I will
the
say,
one thing I do
you
Go ahead,
build
Necro.
Lego. You're capable
Yeah.
of following a manual. You could put a computer together.
Fair enough.
It's actually not a inaccurate comparison.
I'm not good with electronics.
You don't really need to be. They generally will come with pictures and words that say, okay, take this item that has this type of socket and put it into this item that is meant to receive this type of socket.
Yep. And there's even a lot of stuff to like help you with the orientation and all that.
The most complex thing I ever did was take apart a Nintendo Joy-Con and replace the joystick. And that involved ribbon cables, and that was already too much for me.
Not dissimilar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is I have a line of credit with Best Buy, like what do you call it? Like a financing thing with Best Buy. So that's why I usually go with the prefabs because then I can just put it on the card and then I can pay it off slowly over a year or so.
Yeah.
And they have, I think Geek Squad is decent enough for tech support.
I have opinions, but I've also heard some
I've-
really bad stories.
I have never. The only time I've ever actually had to bring a computer in was my MacBook and it was because the hard drive was literally failing. It was funny because I tried everything under the sun. I had Googled all my problems and I couldn't find an answer. I tried 60 different things. So I finally made the appointment and I brought it in. And they're like, okay, what seems to be the issue? And I said, okay, so it boots, but it gets stuck halfway and then it just hangs there. It doesn't actually go anywhere. And doesn't matter if I can't boot it in safe mode, I can't boot it in like no network mode, nothing seems to work. You know, I tried doing this and that and blah 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 blah. And they look at me and they go, "Wow, you really did your research before coming here." And I was like, "What? Do people just have a minor problem and just show up?"
Yes.
Frequently.
Almost exclusively.
Google's right there.
Yeah, no.
Like, do you know how many times I've taken pictures of errors, like written down the code and then Googled the code and like found out like, oh, this is this error, so I need to go and try this.
Congratulations, you're qualified to work in IT and solve 90% of the issues.
It's just common problem solving, people.
Yeah, the problem is common sense and logic aren't.
Yeah. It's so rare, it's a superpower.
Clearly.
Common sense is tingling. Yeah. There's a number of like web comics and jokes about like what makes you think you're qualified to work in IT? And it's like, I can use Google. You're hired.
I can use Google successfully.
Yeah. Or
A
in
lot
a
of
job
people
interview.
basically
How would you
do,
solve this
it's
problem?
computer stuff.
Google it.
I don't know how to do computer stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, that's actually an issue. Because a lot of people nowadays don't actually know how a computer works. They just, you know, everything's so simple now that you can just
They
be
go
like, oh,
into
just
it.
plug and play. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's plug and play for people, and I'm sitting here like, I need to figure out how I'm gonna make these two pieces of software actually talk to each other because I'm doing things that you're not supposed to.
And then there's me going, oh, I don't want to go into the registry, but I have to go into the registry.
I don't know if I have the strength to do what I must do.
I mean, computers are basically rocks that we're funneling electricity through to make them think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything runs on electricity. We run on
Not
electricity.
even make them think. Make them behave in a way that makes it look like they think.
Yes.
Congratulations, we're doing this over smart rocks.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's something that entirely escapes me as programming. I understand how it works, but people like, oh,
Nobody
this'll-"
understands how.
Even the people who are professionals in the field are just like, yeah, I just did this and it works for me, but you know, mileage may vary when you try.
But just the like, I was talking to someone. They're like, oh yeah, I like 300 code. I'm like, what? I can barely get through like 10 lines.
I was actually teaching myself a little bit of HTML because website.
Yeah.
And,
I'm okay with HTML. I did a little like mini course on JavaScript, I think.
Yeah. But half of what I was trying to figure out, I wouldn't have known if I hadn't already tried learning C++.
Okay. Speaking of C++, here's a funny little story.
Uh-oh.
So it's cute, honestly.
Okay.
My old boss at the cafe was an old British lady. Was not very tech savvy, and this was before smartphones were like super popular. And if
Yeah.
they were like real basic kind of things. Like this is like
Back in
iPhone 3 kind of era.
I was about to say the BlackBerry era.
Yeah, BlackBerry era.
Okay.
Anyway, we got a resume in, and under skills and stuff, it said C++. And my boss was like, well, that doesn't seem like a very good grade. Why would you put that on your resume? And I'm like, no, boss, it's a programming language. She's like, I never would have known that.
Yep. I sometimes I think maybe I should do more programming. My bot that I use, if I could do programming in C sharp, I could
Don't cut
basically do
yourself.
anything I want. I would be unstoppable.
I thought Python was the go-to.
Sure.
It depends.
If you
okay.
want to be lazy,
Okay. I mean, I
Every
know
language has its uses.
yeah.
Some languages are better at some things other than others.
Python's being used a lot by a lot of things, but in order for it to work, someone has to be able to go and do other stuff in one of the more base languages.
Okay. I didn't know there were base languages.
Yeah, so the closer you get to
This is
what
the language behind the language.
Yeah, so what you have is a hierarchy of complexity of language and development of the different languages. So like the most basic you can get, I believe, is binary.
Yeah, binary is the most basic thing. It is yes or no, on or off,
Yeah.
1 or 0.
Oh,
And then
okay. I didn't even know that
from-
was a language.
Yeah, from there
Well-
you have slightly more complex in that like
That'll
you're
be your
not using
machine
ones and
code
zeros
or
as machine. And then from there you have basic, I believe.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And then from there you have languages like C.
Okay.
From there
That's
you
gonna
have
be your
C++,
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 C Sharp, Java.
I think C Sharp is actually a tier up or a step up from C++. From what I remember my brother saying.
He actually does programming stuff, so he would know better than me.
Yeah, I wish we had him in here for this conversation, honestly, because he could like do the like real quick rundown for us. He's really good at that kind of stuff too. But yeah, it's really interesting to like learn about like, yeah, sometimes in order to like really get something solidly working, you basically just have to do like the various levels of programming until you're up to the point where the people who are just like developing the features can just work in Python or whatever to just quickly develop stuff out. But you need that baseline like work pipeline to make it happen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But in the end, coding is like wizardry.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there's, I mean, the reason there's a joke of like 99 bugs of code in the wall, 99 little bugs. You take one down, you patch it around, 256 bugs in the code.
Yeah.
Another example of coding problems is the Alien Colonial Marines game, which was just broken for years. Someone finally figured out what was wrong with it, and they managed to fix the AI in that game. And it was a letter that needed to be capitalized, or it was capitalized and shouldn't have
Oh,
been.
Yeah, because
It was literally
capitalization
a
does
one-letter
matter.
capitalization error. Broke the whole game.
Dang.
Yep.
Also, you'd be amazed how many classic games from the NES, SNES, PlayStation era were held together and operating via duct tape, chewing gum, spit,
Oh.
and tears.
Oh, I know. Like Final Fantasy VI is one of my favorite games, and it is an amazing game for like story and music and characterization, but oh boy, is it coded bad. And
Apparently, Final Fantasy VII was they were about to give up on it, and then they finally managed to get a stable version of it to run, and they're like, nobody touch
Ship
anything.
it.
We're shipping it. It works.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Hold on a sec.
Final Fantasy VI does what Pokemon did with basically, look, here's a hex value. We've assigned it to 6 different things, including an NPC, a PC, an item, and a location.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some fun ways to break Final Fantasy VI. There's one I want to do. Unfortunately, I have to play about 8 hours of the game without saving. And while that in itself I can do,
I wouldn't
well,
be able to do that.
it's I can play the game that like without dying. That's the problem. It's my force of habit saving that's going to kill
Yep.
me.
That
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
I am very much save early, save often, save a lot. Oh, you gave me 20,000 save files to use? You
I'm
damn well bet
using
I'm
them
going to use
all.
every single one of them.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
dozens of examples of me not saving often enough.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Oh, crud.
Or
It
just
is.
using one save file for the entire game.
Yep, yep. It
Most
is
of the
10 to
games that I
10.
play do admittedly not. But yes, it is also getting late for you, Bum Rush.
Yes, I need to go to bed. Well, I need
Before
to
you
wind
turn into a
down
pumpkin.
and go to. Why would I turn into a pumpkin?
Joke a buddy of mine would say from Haunt. Same
Oh,
one who had the
okay.
brimstone and wormwood.
Ah, I see, I see. Can I turn into like a different squash? Like
I'll
perhaps
have
a
to take it up
zucchini?
with management, but we can see what we can do for you.
I'd prefer a zucchini, and if not a zucchini, I'd like to be a butternut squash. Thank you.
Man,
I don't know if we could do
you're being
squash, but we
real
could do
demanding with these
squish.
contract negotiations right now.
What? Zucchinis are, I mean, I could be really specific and be like, excuse me, I'd like to be a yellow zucchini. I'm being nice in general. I'd like to be a zucchini or a butternut squash, you know? It's not like I'm sitting here I want to be an ornamental pumpkin. Jeez.
Yeah. I want to be an heirloom tomato.
Oh, no, you know what's good? I can't remember what they're called, but they're like black tomatoes.
No, I don't know
That's
that
just
one.
rotten.
No, they're actually like they're not quite black, but they're like super super dark. They're almost brown. But they've got such like a rich earthy like flavor to them. They're so good. They're so good. Anyway, I'm gonna get off now because if I don't, I'm gonna keep talking and then it's gonna be 10:30 and then I'm gonna bring up my life choices.
Yeah.
So have a good night, Necro. Have a good night, Bar.
Good night.
Yeah, have a good night.
Night.
Honestly, I should be considering going to sleep soon myself. I have to be up at like 4:15 for work.
I'll try it Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. You do me a favor and put in a head count request for Pathfinder. Tell them that it is officially for me, but I'm so busy at the moment. I will put about it in, like the next 7 minutes until BRB. Actually, might just be end of stream. $78% clean. I think I could finish it in a reasonable amount of time tonight.
No.
I have the best power washer.
There are lots of fiddly bits on all of these things, so
Yeah, the Helter Skelter's a little less guilty of it. Bum, 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 bum. I don't know what that started as, but it ended up with Under the Sea.
Hmm.
So the expansion pack in Command and Conquer, the first one,
what?
if I remember correctly. So the expansion packs in Command and Conquer, the original one,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, do not actually have any real story to speak of in them.
I don't think so.
I'm probably just gonna skip those because it could be funny to watch me lose my mind as I'm trying to beat more Command and Conquer. I don't want to do that.
I think the first expansion pack that adds anything story related is the one for Tiberian's son.
Yeah. And then Red Alert 2 also got the same treatment. Kind of a consistent thing from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely. I will be playing Yuri's Revenge. I've never played Yuri's Revenge. I haven't even beat the original stuff of Red Alert 2. Looking forward to that because many, many hours sunk into that game. There we go. You know, a game we pick up at some point.
What?
EDF.
Hmm.
EDF 6. Oh, sorry, he said he plans on getting it sometime soon. Sounds are not quite dinging. The game is every time.
Hmm?
Oh, the ding for finishing an item isn't firing every single time.
Yeah.
Uh, 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 Up. Yeah. Okay. Don't get stuck.
Get stuck.
I am Pudge.
Okay.
Built of sludge. Through the jungles and the loaded lanes I trudge. Uh, Miracle sound for Dota.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a little older one at this point.
Yeah, just a bit. You're still playing D&D at that warehouse.
Did it come out at that time?
Yeah, because I was, pretty sure I was carp. Maybe later, but I'm pretty sure I was carpooling with Fred. At the time still. That would have been the latest it could possibly be. Okay. Up higher, up higher. Up higher? It was a while ago that we were talking about Despicable Me, but you know what movie I wish had actually done better in its competition against that movie?
What?
Megamind.
Yeah.
Actually, a good movie.
That movie's a lot older than the Minion stuff, isn't it?
No, it's the same release window as Despicable Me.
Huh.
Yeah. And it lost
Megamind is
to
a
the
good movie, though.
Minions. Oh, it's so good. He will never find out. That's the point of lying. Little did he know he would find out. Uh, Short extension. Yeah, what greeblies am I missing on this thing?
Hmm.
Railing posts. That one. Slide frame. And we did it. Yeah, we did it, Zach. Come here. Yeah? Yeah? I have a Zag. No. Don't go up on the desk, buddy. You know that. Alright. Alright. Time to figure out who to raid. I think I know who to raid.
I'm back. Ended up stopping to talk with a neighbor for a bit.
Nice. Sounds like a good walk, though. We were actually just getting ready to raid out so I could start getting ready for work tomorrow. But, you know who our raid target is. So we're going to be going over to the Loopy Walrus, who's currently playing some Civ 6. Yeah.
It's loopy time.
It's Loopy time. I don't know fully what we'll be doing all next weekend because I don't have Final Fantasy 14 to work on anymore. Although I think we filled up all our slots. Then we have PowerWash, Kingdom Hearts, Command and Conquer, and Abiotic. Abiotic, we might only have maybe 1 or 2 more streams in this current set of content anyway. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm filling that time slot with. But then PowerWash is going to be a little bit. Command and Conquer is going to be a little bit. Kingdom Hearts. I'm just going to plan on going through the whole series there. So, like, we've got a few long-running series right now. But yeah. If you haven't already, go ahead and drop in on the Discord. You get news for what's going on around the stream there, and check out the YouTube. I'm re-releasing videos or re-recording gameplay of games to release as like VODs for games that we've already played on the stream. So if you haven't seen some of those games that I've played, they're only an hour long, little bite-sized things to watch instead of these 5-hour long streams. Plus all the VODs of anything from like October to now is being released. We're getting close to like the last year worth of stream will be on YouTube, plus other stuff that I'm trying to catch up on for the previous like 2.5 years. So to consider. But yeah, take care of yourselves. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your evening. May the week be kind to all of you. And remember, be excellent to each other, be excellent to yourself.